DD Real Music. We gon' let him come and bless us. Give it up!
Legacy is in my brain, legacy is in my name. I don't need the fame, but I ain't playing no games. Through a comeback, Ron James, yeah, the real king. He reigns, sits on the throne, that remains. Christ's blood runs through my veins. I'll leave a legacy, the world will see. One like MJ and Ali, only rival yet is me. Then the life's my last dance, like I got a one more chance, so I gotta advance. Live a purpose is my stance, I can't stop, I gotta get it up. Give them hope, I know they need it, I give them up, and this my calling, I made with this, ain't no cap, I got my side, ain't no limit, he's my cheat codes, I gotta go get it, boy, Aaron, so I'm gonna come with it, when I look back, I can say he did it, try to stop, that ain't gonna happen, right, until I die, cause he's my captain, call me, gave me divine purpose, so, I'ma stay rapping, really, I'm just getting started, and I ain't stopping, anytime soon, yeah, it's time to let it ring, and I can get it, I'm true, I keep saying, blessed, I do believe that he won't stop. Trying to live my legacy, I have faith here. Give me a time, trying to stay focused on the job. Let us spread the great pop on a vision from God. Not just me, you got a squad. Your boys on that hot, ain't no time to flop. I see there's a crop, so we gotta let that pop. I'll go hard in the paint. God got me so straight. He let me loose, no restraint. Will I stop? No, I can't. No, I can't. We should be pushing towards greatness, so no, you stay in the waitlist. Get over your greatest. Legacy requires you to be courageous. So for me, I ain't wasting time being faithless. People have been asking me what's the latest. I tell them that I'm destined for greatness. Yeah. Y'all love Jesus, make some noise! Hey, God has been too good, man. He's been too good. He's been too good. I just want to leave divine legacy. Legacy that matters. That's all that matters. Let's get it. My name is DB Real Music. I come all the way from Chicago, Illinois. I just want to thank my manager. Thank my manager, Fred, for having me out, man, and just allowing me, to be able to bless the stage and to be able to share, my gifts with each and every one of you guys.
So as we're going through, Pastor Dunk said a lot. Pastor Dunk spoke a lot. And DD Real Music, he sang about a lot. So when we're talking about keeping it real, we're talking about, one of the words and the verses that Pastor Dunk referred to, life and death being the power in the tongue. So as we talk about that, and as we're, we have individuals who are esteemed up here in different ways in the conference, we have DJs, who have just spoken, and as you said, broken different songs that have come in. At the place that you are now, what was your changing point? Like, what is it that came for you? Pastor Dunk spoke he spoke about his change, he spoke about even, him getting to the point and him still, being like, well, I'm still doing what I'm gonna do. So what is that actual changing point for you all in your life that would cause that, as you're listening, as we have young people who are listening, as we have the next generation who are listening, what's some food for thought? I know I said a lot.
Pastor Dunk, you want to start? Yes.
Okay. I have this thing that says, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Like if nothing changes, nothing changes. Everything that we said through here, that's where we are right now. And we have a small window, and but it has to start with you personally. You have to take full responsibility of your own actions before you can help someone else. So for me, it was that. Like, I know that I wanted to be an impact on someone else's life, so I had to make a change in some of the things that I was doing on my own to affect the person that was next to me. And then that person can affect the person that was next to them. And so, like I say, I wanted better. I wanted different. I wanted to be one that played my part in helping my community to change. And that's what I'm doing today. So it's stuck with me that if nothing changes, nothing changes, and that helped change the narrative of my life, and that's been my focus ever since.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
I grew up in a very political family, very expressive, very educated. And so every family reunion, y'all know how I got the one family reunion argument? Okay, I don't know. Y'all know we got the barbecue, and everybody's cooking, and we all hanging out. And you know, I'm saved, but my family, they go back and forth. And so when they get the brown liquor in them, all of a sudden they get real opinionated. And so I got a cousin who is incredibly affluent and has sometimes an ideological opinion. And one of the things that he did was he said, you know, it was while George Bush was the president. We talked about how the economy was going to the floor and all this other stuff. And my cousin just looked at it, he said, okay, well, if not George Bush, then who? And it challenged me in that moment to realize the game's gonna be played who the game's gonna be played by. Our goal is to make sure that we're in the position that no matter who the player is, that we're prepared for how it shifts. So when I heard that, it just made me realize one day it's gonna be the Dems, one day it's gonna be the Republicans. One day God is gonna be good, one day Satan's gonna be busy. It made me realize that I had to continuously put myself in the position to say, well, if not George Bush, then who? If not the man, then who? If not the politicians, then who? If not my mama, then who? And so it just put a lot of responsibility on me to put people in the position where they get a chance to realize if nobody else in the world changes, then who should? And so that's what I really started to work towards.
Kind of piggyback off of what Dunk said. It was about change for me. Like I said, I'm a DJ of 39 years, been in radio for over 30 years, kind of became a prevalent mixtape DJ, kind of world known, breaking artist, but I started seeing too many of those artists dying in front of me. They're saying all kinds of crazy stuff on their mixtapes, and then what they're saying they're dying by. And I grew up in the church. I grew up in the Church of God in Christ. My dad was a pastor, and my mom, you know. But I was one of those rebellious kids. I was the oldest of 8. Am the oldest of 8, because we're all still here. My mom and dad have passed. But mom and dad always instilled in us the doctrine of the Bible and the church. And the reason I didn't do it was because of my own choices, which I later found out in life after doing so much. I say I did a whole lot of damage to my community and to anyone that had the ears to hear whatever I played. Yeah, the public might like whatever you're doing, but it became a point where, you know, I have a daughter, she's 30 years old, she's in the streets, she's in the streets. I mean, I talk to her, she does what she wants to do. I'm not trying to be that one to have to bury a daughter, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to see major change. So, you know, along with the help of my wife, who was right there, and you know, us having a lot of communication with each other, because I've been in relationships where things weren't good, but when I got someone positive in my life, that kind of helped me to see where I needed to be. So I got back into church. Then when I got into church, I was like, I'm not living the way of the Lord, because I'm saved, but I'm still DJing on the radio playing negative stuff. That's not what I want to do. So I had to kind of, yeah, the money was great, but I had to kind of make hey, are you going to live this life, or are you going to live that life? You can't play both sides. So I made a choice to live for the right side and live in the standard of the Lord. So, you know, I started seeing too many people I got to know real close pass away. You know, I try to talk to some of them to this day. I still have people that come to me trying to get me to do a mix CD, or whatever, and I have to tell them that's not the way that I live right now. And you know, they see, yeah, I have gold, platinum plaques on the wall from a lot of artists that I broke. Even his cousin, I've got China White is in the building. I've got plaques from her, but that's not the way the Lord wants me to be. So, like he said, a change needs to be done, and I need to be a part of making that happen.
Sure. All right, awesome. Thank you.
I guess for me, I grew up in the church, but the people around me also wanted to be a part of our community. And for me, it was kind of strange, really, because in 5th grade, I went from a predominantly black school to a predominantly white school. And on our block, there was just that block in that whole county that was black. So I was hanging out with the fellas on the block. Well, they were doing what they were doing. They were doing drugs and in and out of the city, and then there was a group home there with a lot of the brothers from all over New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. So I wanted to hang, you know, and I did what I did, and shame me when I think about it now, because those things that I enjoyed, supposedly, I never really could enjoy, because when you know something better, you can't really enjoy what you're doing. Matter of fact, you can tell the church folk in the club, because when Friday, Saturday, and Sunday come, they got to get the highest, act the craziest, because they're trying to kill their conscience. So I mean, it was just that wild way of living. Almost being killed many times, wouldn't have known it. That's how, you know, intoxicated I was. Then I went in the military at 17. And then I really acted a fool because nobody was watching me, and the culture was again toxic, you know. And it just came to a point, fast forward, if it had not been for me wanting to keep a relationship, my wife, and God saying enough is enough. You know, you always get the warnings. You know, you get the warnings. Things happen to you, or should have happened to you, or could have happened to you, but you just say, well, not this time. I'm not gonna worry about it. But God got me to a point where it was like, look, I had disabled. I was on my back for 6 months. I was disabled for 5 years, and it was like God told me early in. He said, it's over. You're either going to do what I called you to do, or you're going to die. Choose. I chose life. And I thank God for that, but it wasn't easy. And I think the hardest thing for me was recognizing the fact that I knew something better. I couldn't say I didn't know anything better. I couldn't say I didn't know people that had been successful. I couldn't say that I didn't know people that did better things in better ways. But it was choices. And if I was saying anything, it's choice. You make choices now. We make choices every day. You got to decide whether or not you're going to make good choices. You came to a point where I could make some better choices. And once I accepted Christ, and that's what, you know, when you talk about giving it all up, surrendering everything, that's what it's all about. You got to let go. And nobody wants to do that. At least I didn't want to do it for a long time, because I was mad. You know, all that foolishness, because my mother raised me from the time I was 4 on up, all that foolishness you hear in the street about being a man and how you're supposed to treat women and how you're supposed to deal with things, that's all garbage. Because at the end of the day, the reality is you still going to be on your own, and if you don't make good choices with relationships, you're not going to have the depth, you're not going to have the love, you're not going to have the commitment. So it took me almost dying and going through many crises before I realized there's something better. And I thank God that really that's about 39 years ago now, that I was on the couch on my knees, tears running down my eyes, saying, God, you got me. And I don't care what happens from here on out, I'm going to do your will. But you got to get to that point where you realize that there ain't nothing else. I don't care about the money. I don't care about the relationships. I don't care about all these things we think are valuable. Until you have Christ, none of that means anything. None of that means anything. And you can have all the money in the world and still be, as my brother was saying, empty.
Mine is very simple. I was born into change. In my home, I grew up in the most balanced, spiritual, sense of humor, work ethic home. My wife's brother said, if you preach or if you teach, if you don't live what you preach or teach, it's just a speech and it won't reach. My parents lived. They were precept and example. And so I could be what I could see. I was born into the change. And just their community involvement, it was just became a part of me for these 42 years. And so I'm just thankful.
You got the dancer too. Let's go.
All right, this song is called Jello. Whenever it's like, go out here and say, Jello, Jello. That's it, simple. All right, pump it up. We're going to shake the devil tonight, right? Listen, watch out. Hey, some people play football, but the whole of them a fumble. No cookie and no pop, but the whole of them a crumble. No building block, but the whole of them a stumble. No loving at them heart, so they can't feel humble. Whoa. And then we will get up pure. Do I know what them fighting for? Every day them a boss them SLR. When I got them tricky fighting for. Baby shine bright, light, I like a tiger. In your heart it must stay. Always when I learn to move it, she close. Them wet like chalk, them hard like my balls. Would I kill for a dollar not to be gentle? Them hard, them turn pretty pro. Sit and got them like a puppet by the strings and toes. Till the fire burn out for the seed and sow. No watch how all of them nature grow. Your turn. Pretty shine bright, light, I like a tiger. To tell you what's playing, you know your heart it was. Is that bad mind? Come and check me yesterday. I mean, tell bad mind get out of my way and die. Keep praying to the most high. I say I pray to the most high. But somebody get out of my way. And I got time for your play. I'm praising Jesus all the way. We don't care what the hypocrites them say. Shalom, shalom. Make it shine bright, shalom, shalom. Light, I like a tiger. Shalom, shalom. In your heart it must stay. Shalom, shalom. To try your most way. Shalom, shalom. To try your most way. Shalom, shalom. In your heart it must stay. Keep praying to the Most High. I say I pray to the Most High. I keep praying to the Most High. I say I pray to the Most High. Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, this is our song together that's called Hands Up, and Jesus never gonna perform it. Alright, let's get it. Hands up.
He tried to stop the weapons form, but it's not gonna prosper. Amen.
Yeah.
It's not gonna prosper.
Hey, alright,
And this is just a taste. This is just a taste. Y'all better come out to the good music at our festival Sunday. Let's go.
Make them do it. I think your hands up. Come on.
Hands up if you're feeling this brave. Don't matter what they hate to say. Y'all know it gon' be okay.
Oh, yeah.
Hands up if you're feeling this brave. Don't matter what I hate to say. Y'all know it gon' be okay.
love me. And thank God for them, because they motivate me. Smile up in my face, and try to overthrow me. No pay them no mind, they give me God the glory. They give up every day, and try to see me feel. But mine I kill them slowly like a snail. All the cutlass will keep them in a jail. All the hate them I hate me till prevail.
We want some nuggets. We want our young people to be able to move forward. And when I say young, I'm not even talking about young just by number. We got some folks who are 20, 30, 40 that's still struggling trying to figure out who they are. We got folks still 50, 60 who are like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I'm ready to take my life. I had a friend who literally called and he was like, dude, I was sitting here with a gun to my head. And if somebody had not answered the phone, it was gonna be over. So I've always learned, sometimes you get that still spirit in you. Listen to it. That's the Holy Spirit talking. I told you earlier, I am not preaching, I'm gonna be quiet. But I want some words. Before we even do that, I'm gonna turn it to the crowd. Does anybody have a question for any of the panelists or just in general before we go to our last question? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure we asked everybody. All right, and if someone comes up, just let me know. Literally, if you all can share just some nuggets for those who are struggling, for those who are going through and they're like, I've tried, I'm not seeing no change. I've tried, things are literally just the same. I can't pay my mortgage. I go to school, I get picked on all the time. I don't know what's next in my life. I'm struggling with my lifestyle, my sexuality. I'm just struggling. I'm running, I'm drinking, I'm in church, but I'm struggling. I don't know what this is all about. And I want to bring it particularly or at the other piece of media and social media and how much that impacts us, period. So can we share just a little bit about what that looks like? Oh, we do okay, y'all. You have a question? All right. No, so they can get it.
I see how this works. Okay, cool. All right, how do you guys deal with burnout? Sometimes I feel like I'll go through an aspect where I know what I'm doing and I get tired of being what I consider as perfect, so I'll burn out. And I won't be as perfect because I'll get angry or I'll have aggression towards something. And everything will be going fine, but I know my mind is always in the build of wanting to do everything excellent. And within that, I burn myself out and I end up hurting those around me because I'm trying to be more. So for the panel out up there, how do you guys deal with that?
Faith.
That's my question. Faith.
And not the faith of what's hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, but faith where the word is made flesh. The faith that you walk it out. You do all you can do it to a point, sit down somewhere. One of the hardest things to learn as a young pastor going into a deprived church is that you think God's Holy Spirit began with you and it ends with you. It ends with him. He's the Alpha and the Omega. He's the beginning and the end. You do what you can do and go to bed. Sit down somewhere. Believe. Because when God blows my mind the most is when he gets done what I was trying to get done without me. So I had this thing where I'm, black church is predicated upon celestial preaching, good music. And that's the formula for growing any black church. And so I thought I had to become Creflo Dollar, T.D. Jakes, to blow this thing up. And in the process of trying to become them, I stopped being me. So then the month of February, I was like, man, it's Black History Month. I ain't preaching nothing. I signed 4 preachers up to preach. None of them my denomination. And every last one of them had somebody come down to the pulpit every Saturday. Now, I've been preaching these Negroes for 18 months straight. Nobody felt the Lord moved. I mean, sweating, he and hawing. My voice don't sound like this because of birth. This is damage. And I did all that rock sweating, preaching, and then these 4 Negroes get up here, they ain't never met them before, and they say half of the word I done gave these folks. And then I got 24 baptisms in 4 weeks. And I came to the elder one time and I head low. Well, I guess I need to work on how I'm preaching. Old mother reached over and touched me on the knee and said, baby, it's because of your leadership that you brought the right people to bring them down. Come on now. Sometimes sit down somewhere. Do everything you can do. And when you get done at your night, your pillow with your wife or you by yourself, I don't know what your situation is. It'd be like, Lord, it's in your hands because I ain't got nothing left. And he gonna have to make up the difference to the deadline, to the perfectionism that you're trying to reach, because the text says he'll put you before great men, not your talents. Let the word become flesh in you and let it walk.
And I like how you pointed out that God used you to bring those ministers in to teach those new people and bring them to Christ. But you don't feel like you aren't getting anything done because God works in many different mysterious ways. So he used you to bring those other ministers, whatever faith they were, the denomination they were, to help bring those other people to Christ. But it's still, you are still doing the work of the Lord.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I want to add to one of the things that I kind of want to point out to your question, B, was for me, because I've been there. And one of the things that I intentionally do is you have to allow calibration to take place in your life, especially like when you're responsible for the smiles of so many other people.
That's a word.
And so I will begin to wake up earlier and spend that time with them. We get up early, yeah, man. So I do this thing called 111. Every morning, it changed my life. It changed the narrative. I do an hour of praying, an hour of my word, and an hour of praise and worship. It changed the narrative of my life. But when you look at the life of Jesus, that's what he did. It says that he would perform all of these miracles and stuff, and they would look for him. He'll be on the mountaintop. You gotta go and spend so you can get the itinerary of what to do, what you're asking right now. How do I keep this? How do I balance it? How do I do this? And man, when I tell you, oh man, it's a beautiful thing, but it's called calibration. You have to allow calibration to take place in your life so you can get the playbook, so it can tell you what to do and what not to do. So hopefully that helps you.
Yeah. And then just to add, I just kept on hearing, in my head is that, you have to be okay with being human. You're not a superhuman. None of us are. And we can't be everything to everybody. So when we try to be, that's when the true burnout really comes. Because you don't know who you're called to and who you're truly called to be. So when you are, in that and you understand that, patience also comes into into fruition and everything too, comes into the whole thing, because I'm on that journey myself as well. I'm like, man, like, when am I going to reach these dreams that I want to get to, and understand, where God really wants for me to be, and I have all these aspirations and things, but God has just really been showing me like, yo, like, I'm trying to deal with your patience, man. Because if I give you everything right there at that time, you ain't gonna be ready for it, and so when you're walking the journey with God and you're understanding, your purpose and your calling, in that time of patience, he helps you to understand, that you can't be everything to everybody and you are called, to who you're called to, and so, perfectionism will only burn you out, so you have to be okay with being human, which is being who God has called for you to be. Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. Go ahead.
Hey y'all, I'm sorry I'm late. My God, I didn't even tell you what happened. But with the burnout thing, I haven't even reached ministry. Like, I haven't even really started. I served in my church. My pastor died like 5 years ago, but I served in the back So I was serving the pastor when they ate, you know. So I haven't really been in full-time ministry, but self-love, like I'm burnt out with my own family, you know, and just with people. And it's like you're gonna have to get to the point where you just be led by the Spirit, because people they're gonna like you, and they're not gonna like you, no matter what you do. You know what I'm saying? And some people use you and wear you out and take and never pour into you. You just gotta love yourself and be led by God. Just be like, okay, God, yeah, I can't do it. Oh, you don't like me? Sorry. Or you just kill yourself. You know? Yeah, so. No, you don't want to do that. You know, but I'm just saying, like, you either going to wear yourself out, you know, and just be tore up, or, you know, just be led by God. Because, I mean, you got to be led by God. You going to do some stuff that you don't need to be doing, or whatever, you know. So that's
Man, I'll piggyback off of that really quick. I just feel like when we feel burnt out, it's because we're doing everything. Like, we feel like we are, like, I'm doing this. Like, and I feel like, especially for me, like, if I'm feeling that, I'm like, wait, I'm obviously, especially if we're doing this for ministry, kingdom work, if we're feeling that way, we got to remember why we're doing it for. And we got to be spiritually prepared, because the spiritual warfare is real. Like, it's so real that if, you know, because the enemy knows that each one of us here and everyone in this room can really impact a person's life. Not just who we perform for, but day to day, like our family, our siblings, the people that we invite to Bible studies. Like, you don't know who you really can impact. And I feel like that's why we get so overwhelmed, because we put that pressure on us, but it's not us, it's God. So we gotta just step back. I try my best, you know, because life gets busy, but it's like, wow, how are we too busy for God? But take some time. I love daily devotionals. Like, I'll just read it. It's like a minute. If I can't do that, then God help me at that point. Refresh. Like, for me, like I said, fasting is really big in my life. So if I feel like I'm stressed, I need to take a week off and I need to fast. Be okay with saying no, because what use is it if you're booked, but you're not even allowing God to use you? You're just doing it just to perform, just doing it to get the money. Like, that's not important. Who cares about the money? Are you being an impact to the people's life when you go up and you go there and you're ministering to youth or whoever God is calling you? If you're not mentally, spiritually, emotionally prepared, you might as well just not do it. So feel burnt out, be okay with being human, take that time for yourself, and just know, like, it's a bigger picture. Remember why you did it and why God called you. So that's what I would say.
Beautiful. I just want to just piggyback on that just for a split second. Everything that's been said has been very powerful. Also, you have to be able to recognize Jesus died for the world. You don't have to. And the secondary piece of that is that, and was already said, but I want to say it a little different way. You know, the Bible says, love thy neighbor as thyself. You are enough. No, you are enough. Now, y'all don't hear me. You are enough. You are enough. God didn't make you more or less than. You are enough. And when we can accept that fact that Christ created us in his image, we are enough. Now I just have to depend on him.
I love that. The only small thing I'm going to add to what everyone said is pray for a team. Because, like, my wife and I, we love doing things with excellence because we believe you put your best foot forward for God. And I feel like that's where you're coming from with it, but you can't overwhelm yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like, again, like, it's a spiritual thing too, but you have to pray for the right person to come into your life to want to help you naturally. They're not gonna want to take from you. You'll see who want to help you naturally and just keep that person close, and then there you go, you'll build from there. So we love doing things with excellence, but it's gonna require some help, and you gotta ask help for that help. Ask God for that help. And I love doing things by myself. Like, I hate asking for help, but I also own a company, and I've realized I'm a painter. I paint houses inside, outside, driveway, so I've realized the more people, the less I have to do.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying? At the end, I can come and do the touch-ups, but if you have a team of people, they're going to handle what needs to be handled. You can handle what you need to handle to put the final details on it. But pray and ask God for help.
Awesome. The other one? All right, so we know, and like we said, we just got two more amazing panelists. We're looking at the time. We know it's 8:46. However, we cannot leave here. So we said, can you all indulge us until 9 o'clock? We got 14 minutes. Can we handle that? Can we handle that? Oh, where we going? I mean, look, I ain't mad. We can. Okay, well, you right. Wait, oh, he made a very good point. There used to be a club that I ain't mad. Now I'm good. I'll stay. I will stay right. Look, I will go in and I'll sit on down. I ain't worried about it. I'll be like,
We just
let's
getting
get
started, man.
All right. I shake. Well, see, I'm so glad y'all said that because what we want to do. So, Miss Esther, Miss China, please, what we did at the beginning was we allowed every panelist to share a little bit about themselves, their story. So if you all will indulge us and share just a little bit about you, a little bit about your journey.
Hi, everybody. Forgive me again, we're late, y'all. Oh, it's been a crazy day. But anyway, I'm here, right? Thank y'all all for showing up. Shout outs to No More Dirty Inc. for having this. All the sponsors in the building. Thank you for the DJs. You know, everybody that came, supported, tweeted, retweeted, posted, tagged, everybody, y'all. I'm just excited that everybody's here and it came, you know, the vision came to life. My name is Esther Jones. I do No More Dirty Radio's public relations. So I love Minister Fred. I love the whole team, everything that's about. But my life journey, I started at 19, y'all, as an intern for Nelly Inc. out of St. Louis. Just real quick. But out of St. Louis, y'all, the middle of the map. I started off as an intern. I was 19, but I was very naive to the entertainment industry. And I came from a home that my father was dysfunctional. He was schizophrenic. If I ever saw the movie The Shining, you know? Yeah, like when I was 4 years old, he was about to kill his 11 children with a shotgun. And so we hid upstairs and ran like it was real life, dealing with my dad, because he was schizophrenic and on medication. And if he wasn't on medication, he would try to kill people, kill us, kill himself. I mean, it was like for the movies, like for real. But anyway, from that, I didn't run away, but I left home because I grew up in a Christian home. Holy Spirit, everything, oil on the head. My mom praying in tongues all night. You know, but it's like I was so sheltered. And so I went to St. Louis, and the first thing I seen Nelly on TV, and I was like, I'm gonna go work for him, and I'm gonna move to St. Louis, and we gonna get married. Like, we about to do this. Like, I seen the down, down, baby. I was like, oh! Like, oh, I want him. So I went, y'all, true story. 6 Greyhound bags, y'all. 6 bags on a Greyhound bus. St. Louis is cold in December, if you know about that, right? Man, the snow coming down. I'm on the pavement like, swerve. The engine, boom, engine brake. I'm like, man. So I had to connect. DJ Snow, Chingy DJ called us and was like, man, we got y'all. So one thing happened after another. I met him, got the job right on the spot, hooked up with them. Then after that, hooked up with Bone Thugs. Just partying. I'm only 19. I'm not even old enough to drink. I shouldn't be nobody club, nobody strip club. We lived in the strip clubs, you know? Like, so I'm doing, I'm just doing, my life is like spiraling out of control. Because it's like, everything was free. For me, the enemy saw, oh, you want to come out and play with me? He rolled out the red carpet. So I never had to get into, I never paid for nothing. No VIP, like if I came in the club, they was like, let her in. Come upstairs, you know what I mean? It was like, everything was happening so fast. Within the span of 2 years, 3 years, I met like every celebrity you could ever, you ever knew. And they saying, come work for me. Come make, we make $50,000 a night for a show, walk through 15,000, 20. I was like, what? Then the strip club, we're gonna make another 50,000. And if you bring us some girls, he said, if you bring us some girls, so I got into pimping women. I'm real raw with it. So I got into pimping women. We got into prostitution. We got into whatever led to the green, to the money, to the dollars. You know what I mean? And nothing was off limits. Like even me, I got into we had orgies. I got into I've been with women, you know? So it's like any type of dirt. When they say no more dirty, that's what I stand for. Cause it's like we ain't doing no more tip drill videos, y'all. You know what I mean? Like I'm not pimping no more. Like and everybody know where I stand. And so I linked up with Minister Fred and I said, so if we're gonna do this thing, I'm gonna call some people. Like I know China White came out. You know what I mean? She was crazy. Now she's she good now. You know I know Dunk. He used to run with Boosie now. Now he good. You know what I mean? God deliver him. I know DJ. I know the core DJ. I remember we used to wild out. DJ Skating, I was like, oh, you came out too? Oh, we good too? So I got everybody that I knew who came out, the gatekeepers, and I said, so let's take a stand and let's say no more dirty entertainment for real. Like if we let's not play with it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my story. I have a passion for broken women. I have a passion for people. I've been there. If you was addicted to cocaine, I've been there. If you was suicidal, I've been there. If you was homicidal, like when they was doing the gun take back. Like you said, I was like, oh. Do that mean I gotta give up my 9mm? Right, it's legal.
No,
it's
ma'am,
legal. No, okay, it's legal. I'm just saying, we used to ride with we had to keep the heater on the lap. Or, honestly, y'all, if I didn't have a gun or if my guy didn't have a gun, I didn't feel safe. So we going in the clubs, everybody strapped. We on the east side of I seen 8 murders in the entertainment. Yeah, East St. Louis, we ain't going there without a chopper and a hook. Everybody got a gun. we got about 4 of them under the seats and some cocaine. So the life that I live, I should have been dead. You know what I mean? Many times I didn't see 8 murders, eyewitness, been in the cases with 8, we was it wasn't a drive-by. I'll tell you one story that I let China say. After the club, 6 people, somebody got mad in the club, you know how it go. And they was playing that rowdy music, you know what I mean? The music that get everybody pumped up. Probably was Lil Boosie, I ain't gonna lie. We said it out finished. No, I'm for real. Whenever we was going to do something crazy, we put on him, you put on Juvenile. I said, oh, I'm ready. Give me a blunt, that's it. I don't care what you want to do. And they know I was crazy. So I was like, what, Nelly, who you got beef with? Let's do this. Y'all don't want none. You know what I mean? We'd go to the city. I'd be like, what? What you got? What you want to do? So it's but that night, somebody got into it on the east side of St. Louis. I'll never forget. Ooh, I prayed so much, Lord. Bullets, y'all. So after he got into it, he came back outside, had an extended clip all the way down to the floor. Came back dressed in black, sprayed the whole crowd. Here go the shooter. Her, right? This is me. He's shooting the crowd. I'm right in front. Angels of the Lord. Ooh, Jesus. Angels of the Lord. My car didn't have a scratch, y'all. I said the blood. Yeah, that was you had a praying grandmother. Yeah. My mama. The fervent, effective prayer of the righteous man availeth much. So my car one scratch. The garbage can behind, here my car, here the garbage can. 6 bullet holes. And so I'm hearing gut, pum, 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 pum. And I looked and I'm like, 6 people, dead. All right by me, you know what I mean? But thank God I was not hit that night. But I didn't learn. I had so many stories after stories of we just wilding out. Until after Hurricane Katrina, I had another wake-up call, and then another person died on me at a Murphy Lee concert. And that was I spoke the gospel in his ear, and I was like, this is your last breath, but if you call on the name of the Lord, you shall be saved. And he died. And I said, you know what? I'm done. Y'all can have the money, you can have the strip clubs, you can have the fame, you can have the Lamborghinis. I miss them though, but But I'll be honest. But I can't live this life no more. Knowing that after a concert, we speaking of death and murder, and I'm pronouncing it out of my mouth, making those decrees. And after it happened, So yeah, but there's hope. Even if you're in that lifestyle, you want to come out. If God can deliver me, if he can deliver this panel, if he can deliver me from selling women out and pimping women out, if he can deliver me from getting drunk, I woke up talking about wake and bake, baby. Any dude that I was messing with, you better have the blow run. Wait, you better have the blow run when we get up. You know what I mean? They know me, we rolling up so I can think right, you know what I mean? But it's just, and then when you talk about deliverance, just demon possessed, y'all, you know what I mean? I had such an anger, and I had such a, they used to tell me, they'd be like, oh, they wouldn't tell me if they had a problem, but if it was a problem, they knew that I didn't play about the money, you know what I mean? I'd be on the phone and be like, nope, we ain't even touching the airport until you give us $15,000 in the deposit. Until it hit, bye. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking to people that's been in the game for years, you know? But anyways, but that same passion and fire that I have for the devil himself. I got it for Jesus, y'all. And when I say I'm bold and I ain't scared, I'll be like, what y'all want to do? You know, it's darkness over there. I know over there. Y'all got money, y'all got rims, but I know you ain't happy. You know what I mean? Like Lazy Bone just lost his money. Mom. And I be talking to them. I be ministering to them. I be like, y'all can front if you want to, but I was in the hotel when we was crying and rolling the cocaine and couldn't think and demons chasing us. Y'all can't tell me nothing. You know what I mean? I didn't live that life. So we gonna either, you know, you keep on playing, but you know what the side the kingdom of light is. So that's it, y'all. I'm Esther. I'm an author. I wrote a book. I wrote a book called.
Yeah, tell us about your book.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. I wrote a book called The Force Behind the Stars, and it tells all my stories about being with the stars and just. I mean, I'm still their friend, but they know that I play no games. So if I said it, you know, that we did it, then everybody can testify that we did it in those stories. But once I say I'm coming out, you know, they still. I mean, sometimes people, you know, they still be like, man, we got this show. You know, 15 grand, 30 grand, what you trying to do? The BET Awards. I be like, oh, my knees be shaking, I ain't gonna lie. I be like, Jesus, take the window for real. Because sometimes I ain't gonna lie, because in the kingdom of light, people don't want to pay you right. You know? Sometimes we walk more, we had each other's back more than we did in the world. You know, if I had to get to a show, if I needed something, they're gonna make it happen. I was never like struggling. So I was like, Lord, I need you to link me up with people who got that rider mentality for the kingdom of light, you know? And then we like, we all in, let's do this. Yeah. And you know, where there's unity, there's the anointing. It's a commanded blessing. So that's what I'm about, y'all. Here go China White. Thank you. Love, love, love.
I had to get myself together because when she talked about being shot last year, my daughter was almost murdered. I got a 19-year-old. And her generation, I know we here to talk about that generation on down, but her, she was with a guy, I guess it was her boyfriend, and they literally shot her car, and like 30, 40 times, I couldn't even count. The boy died in the car. She didn't get hit not one time. Yeah. And yeah, I could just cry, you know, because right before that guy had me fasting and praying for her. I mean, fasting and praying, and nothing touched her. Then, and because of that, they thought she set him up, so we had to go on a run, we had to leave. So I'm dealing with all that. But I'm gonna try to make it brief. I signed with John, Lil John, in '99. We recorded Be It, if y'all remember. My life is, you know, God allowed me to get a certain level, but I didn't get all the way in there. He kind of protected me because I was real naive. I was young, but did that. Started traveling with him, performing, and just recording, going on tour with him, just wilding out. You know, I was real angry back then. You know, and you probably heard the songs and you could tell, but then I was just tired. I had obstacles. I knew God when I was younger. It's like I knew him, but I didn't know him. He's always had his hand on me. So basically, I was not happy. I wasn't happy. I was making the money. I was touring. I was in Miami recording, laid back in a hotel on the beach, all that, blah, blah, all that. And I just was not happy. And I remember like telling John, you know, I want to do a gospel album, you know, because I dibble and dabble. Even in Be It, you could kind of hear I was trying to reach my call and, you know, so I was back and forth with it. And then I was going to name my album Spirit Against My Flesh and blah, 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 blah. And it was like, no, we ain't doing that. Like, no. So, but then I could jump back. I had a brief, I had to go to federal prison. My husband at the time wanted to be a gangster. I wanted to be a gangster. So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I don't even know what I'm doing. You know, my daddy was a gangster for real. I'm thinking those spirits transferred to me. So I'm kind of dealing with all that. And anyway, he got busted. So he went to prison. I went to prison. And I only went for like 6 months, federal prison. But God sent me to a camp, not the hard prison. You know, and I think I had my first experience with him in there. Because when I got in there, I'm like, oh man, I'm about to. Well, listen, it's crazy because we shot the judge let me stay out. to do the video because I had to go to jail. But he was like, no, I'm going to let you out. I'm going to let you stay and do it. So we shot the video, and then the next day, John drove me to jail. So I'm pulling out the weave and wiping the makeup off, sobering up, and then, you know, I just walk in jail, and I'm like, okay, I got to be, I don't know what I got to be, but whatever. But when I walked in, God already had a whole bunch of Christian girls lined up to show me around. So I did that the whole 6 months. Learning about God, reading, going to church. Man, it was powerful in there. It was powerful in there. And a lot of people, the ministers used to come in and feel like, you know, they had a thing like, God ain't in here. But we had already set the atmosphere. They walked in, they like, whoa, man. Like we be in the corner just clapping and praising God, praising God. So I in jail, met the Lord, was like sending people letters, God, you know your sins, and I was preaching, and yeah, man, I was serious. I'm serious about God. I had time to sit and get to know him. Got right back out, went straight back on the road, and went right back went right back to the old stuff. So it just got to the I just had obstacle after obstacle, opposition after opposition, and then I got pregnant, and then they didn't know how to deal with pregnancy back then. You know, not Cardi B and all them. You know, it's cool, man. I'm pregnant. What? And I wanted to do that, but back then it was like, nah, it's done. You over it. And then I was like, okay, well, whatever. So I had the baby, stood with her. Then I went back on my own, and me and my husband at the time was doing it independently. And I just was like, you know what? I quit. I quit. Like, I quit. I don't care. Like, I'm so glad that I'm not into fame and I'm not into money. Like, I want money. You got to have money. But I'm not going to do anything for money. So I was like, I quit. I'm done. And I went back home. And I started doing my gospel music because I learned how to record myself. And I had got my studio, and I would just record gospel songs in my room and put it out on YouTube or Facebook or MySpace, whatever it was back then. And a lot of people, you stupid, you crazy. You should have got the money first. You know, you should have did it. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. So from then on, I didn't really know where I was going. I was like, God, okay, I'm not going in the street. I'm not going back to the club. But I don't know nothing about church. I don't know nothing about that circuit. I ain't grow up in church. I don't know. And I don't really want to be like, you know, under the robotics of that. Like, I just want to praise the Lord. So I just was performing in my church, recording and just putting out stuff or putting out ministering videos or whatever, and just being groomed in my church. And like about 5 years ago, my pastor passed away. And I don't know if she passed away from being stressed, but literally I was in her church for what, 12, 13, 14 years, and like the whole time I never seen her take off, period. Every day. No, the only time she took off was maybe Katrina. She was forced. And then we was in Atlanta, and she was having church in the hotel. So, yeah, so basically I just walked away from it. I mean, I've had stuff happen in my life, but it didn't really stop me from like going to the top. I just was like, I'm done with it. Y'all can have it. I'm not doing it. So that's where I'm at right now. Just like now I'm just seeking God, because I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. These past 10 years for me, again, it's like I feel like I was just having a lot of opposition, because what I'm trying to do with this music, you know, and I'm not afraid to do it. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna do what God tell me to do. But I just had a situation today. I like fell all the way off, like almost till I lost my faith. I almost lost I couldn't even say. I was Jesus freak. I had a song called Jesus Freak, like #1 Jesus. I was on my mountain. Y'all couldn't touch me. And almost just fell off. Really, I had to fight. I feel like I'm just recovering. You know, and it was experience. You know, I'm like, okay, God, I had a lot to learn. Still have a lot to learn. I'm still evolving, but I'm just trying to give you just real stuff. You know what I'm saying? We ain't perfect. And, you know, I'm striving to be whatever God want me to be, but it was a lot of stuff that I had to learn. I learned a lot in the process of doing that. So right now I'm just, I guess I'm about to start my ministry. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, God, whatever you want me to do, God, I'm here. You know, touch my mouth, God. So that's it. Amen. That's it.
let me just say this, and this is the reason why No More Dirty Entertainment is so important. If we never have these conversations where we can incorporate good entertainment with dope education and transformational dialogue, I mean, there's no way we can grow, you know? And while we say, you know, people, I got to do what I got to do, you don't have to do what you think you have to do. You've been colonized that you have to say all kind of things, do all the kind of things, be somebody you're not, and then still call it black and brown. That's a problem. So this is real. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm about to say, all right, so Minister Fred, I know we have gone on, but how many have been blessed tonight? And you see, just as China, she just said, we need programs like this. So we could just gonna do a quick 30-second tidbit. You talked about mentorship. I know that people are gonna wanna get in contact with you all. I know that people are gonna wanna reach out, or whatever support you may even suggest. Is there a way that they, a post, to Instagram or something? What is the best way to reach out to you all? 30 seconds or less.
All of my face, everything is China White, slash China White.
Ashe. All right.
All mine is Esther Jones _. That's Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. And me, I'm real personal, so you can inbox me, you know, DM me. Like a lot of people, the rappers, if you're going through something, mental health problems, I'm a prayer warrior, so I'm going to put your name on my intercessory list. And I'm really going to pray for you. And if you want me to, call, you know. I always say I'm studying in school to be a crisis counselor. Come on. Because I've been doing crisis, you know, people dropping dead right in front of me. So I really want to do that when people are suicidal. Like Lil Wayne say publicly he's suicidal. But I reached out to him on DM. You know, we be going back like, you got this, you know? Speak life. So like I love doing that and I love the people. And that's what I do. I want to smell like the sheep. So yeah. Esther Jones _.
Awesome. Thank you.
And mine's simple. It's just Dunk Speaks. Okay. So if you can look up Dunk Speaks, my picture should come up. And I'm very hands-on with the people, so it's Dunk Speaks, y'all.
Awesome.
I am at Uncle B Stew, summer camp name. I'm the youth director. I'm super reachable. Unfortunately, mine is not succinct like everybody's else. I wasn't in the time of branding. I grew up when social media was starting. So on Facebook, I'm Bryant Stewart. And on, never mind, Snapchat, I'm like BZ88, but don't worry about that.
You got to do that, brother. Hey, they're 8 years older, man. They'll teach you how to TikTok, brother.
I was alive when they started them, so it was like, you come up with whatever's available. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway.
Hey, it works.
But
hey, it works,
facts,
brother.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, I got to go back and change everything. But no, real talk, the best way to reach me on Instagram is at Uncle B Stew.
Uncle B Stew.
Uncle B Stew.
STEW, correct?
Yeah, yes,
That's
sir.
that.
Yes, sir.
Mine is at I am DJ SKNO on everything. I am DJSKNO.com. I am DJ SKNO on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah.
Brand, baby. SKNO. I am DJ SKNO. There it is.
All right, and for mine, it's just DB Real Music. So at DB Real Music, and music is spelled MUZIK. Once again, it's not MUSIC, but it's MUZIK. No spaces. At DB Real Music everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You know, you'll find me. That's what you put in.
Hey, well, y'all can find me at Bianca Love with 2 L's. It's also spelled back there. It's Bianca Love, so my first name is BIANCALLOVE. I have a website, so www.biancalove with 2 L's.com.
Wow. Everybody got it going on. First of all, I just want to thank Minister Fred for all that he has done and the opportunity to be able to come together with all these awesome people. I just had to do that. I'm humbled. Probably the quickest way of getting me would be Restoration, RESTORATION, the number 7, THDAY at gmail.com. Restoration, number 7, THDAY at gmail.com. And Clifton J. McMillan Sr., If you Google me, you can get me also on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram.
I'll just use my organization website. It's prepareouryouth.org, www.prepareouryouth.org.
No more dirty.